Guests. Anyone who's a guest today, if you please stand so we can recognize you, that would be great. Thank you very much for coming, and remember, membership applications are passed out at the door when you leave. So, Rick Fairbrook, would you come forward, please? This is kind of a tradition that we should have done, we could have done last week, but with the program and everything being where we decided we'd give Rick another time. But this is the presentation of the president-elect here. Rick, well, you're president when you finally get rid of me. So, here you go. That's slightly better when I received that last year. It came in a padded envelope, which maybe was trying to tell me I should be in a padded cell. That's a whole other story. A couple of announcements. One is that all of you remember Bill Wheeler was one of our stalwart members, one of our longtime members of this club, president in the year 2001. I think all of you know that he passed away around Christmas time from COVID, one of our casualties of the pandemic. There will be a celebration of his life on July 18th, which is a Sunday, from 1 to 3 at the Yakima Country Club. So if you want to mark your calendars for that, that would be great. Next thing, Rotary Playground. I think some of you have already spent wonderful moments out there on the Yakima Greenway, and we're almost done with it. Kelly, Sonny, and a lot of you have really put in a ton of work already to get it as far as it is. And we now need to put the finishing touches on it, and that's going to happen this weekend, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. So those of you who really would like to spend some time out there, it actually is shifts, there are 3 shifts a day, so you don't need to think you're going to be there all day long. And we really could use the help. We'd like to wrap this up and get this off the agenda, so then we can start talking about my project, which is going to happen. And I think I told you last week that it will be a marketplace where Track 29 used to be, and plans are still proceeding for that. Looks like it's going to go forward. So keep that in mind, and be another opportunity. So. One of the best things the club does, give away money. The only better thing would be if they were giving the money to me, but to the grass.
Good afternoon, guests, Rotarians. Thank you, President John. I am here on behalf of your A&R committee, Downtown Rotary Club. A&R acronym for Allocation Review. Simply stated, we review grant requests that come into the club, and then we allocate money based on the committee's recommendations to the board. The board approves any amounts that we allocate. This year, I am here to present 4 checks to different organizations, and we're going to start with one that's near and dear to my heart, which is Little Hands, Big Hearts in Trujillo, Honduras. The funds that we're going to work for this are to help repair the therapeutic playground that this club built a few years back. I was one of the team members that went down and did that. It was designed by Rod Nipper. We had 5 Rotarians along with some other people that went down and did that. We've been very involved in Trujillo. We did a clean water project there. We also did a bus shelter. It's right out in front of this school that we worked at. This money is to help do some repairs for the bad hurricane season that did some damage to our therapeutic playground. So the World Community Service recommended this award, and our committee approved that and awarded as well. So here to receive a check for $2,000 was one of the founding members of the Little Hands Big Hearts organization, Mark Young.
I want to thank you on behalf of all of the children and families that are served at the Little Hands Big Hearts mission in Honduras. For those of you that are familiar with it, many of you are, because I've been coming to this club and speaking many times over the years and shown many pictures. The project that was dedicated in October of 2019 was far beyond our expectations. You all did a great job in creating the Rotary Therapy Center, which is an outdoor therapy center located in the treetops of 2 mango trees. You may know that we have a school which focuses on disabled children with disabilities, and it's a wonderful program. We help many children and their families with this. But in November of 2020, there were 2 hurricanes, 2 weeks apart, November the 3rd and November the 17th. Trujillo is on the northeast coast of Honduras and sustained considerable water damage as a result of that. And we're fortunate because the mission itself, other than some minor damage at the therapy center and our parking area, which we had just completed for the dedication services, we had a blowout because of 3 days of water and blew out the retaining wall. So we appreciate this help. This will help us tremendously in trying to get back. We've just opened our facility back in March of this year, and our children are coming back slowly but surely, just like many things here in the States. They're behind us in terms of recovering from the pandemic. So they're still wearing masks full time. And we had 4 of our 11 workers down there had COVID during the pandemic, but they survived, and we're grateful for that. I want to just thank you again. And I have probably the most unique gift to present to a Rotary Club. You've been so faithful to us over the years and helped with so many projects, as Jim says. And we have a young man now. He's going to be 19 next month. And he came to us as a 14-month-old little boy who breathed like this. We found out that he had 2 holes in his heart. He was born with them, and he has subsequently been served, he and his family, at our facility for many, many years. And about 5 years ago, he started making unique scorpions from pulled wire. We have many scorpions in Honduras. They're one of our iguanas and scorpions are probably our 2 claims to fame. And he makes these from pulled wire, and smaller version, which I brought some, that I buy from him when I go down there, because I sell them to people who are interested in the States and a unique gift. But I had this larger version that he gave to my wife and I am actually going to present it to the Rotary Club. I don't know where you keep these things, but it can sit somewhere as a thank you.
Your office.
You can put that next to the Rotary Bridge Trophy, Carol. Okay, number 2, Imagine Scholar. People who are involved in this club are very familiar with this. We've heard lots from Imagine Scholar over the last, in the 15 years I've been involved in the club. Imagine, we funded scholarships for students that attend this school. It's in the northeast corner of the country of South Africa. It's an amazing school. These kids that go to this school are taught, I can't even begin. You really got to go to the website, I think. But this has deep roots in Yakima. Corey Johnson, who's a Yakima native, started this school. We've been there. We've done repairs to the school, and we've supported the kids that are going to this school. And we are lucky enough today to have one of those students that's in the Northwest attending Whitman College. And Lucky is going to come up and receive a check for 2 scholarships for $2,400. So.
Good afternoon, everybody. Well, Thank you for hosting me, and the lunch was very good. Chicken salad. Also, thank you so much for this grant. It really means a lot, especially coming from South Africa, from Mpumalanga, a small village that I'm from. It means a lot to know that on the other side of the world, far, far away, there are people who actually care. There are people who believe in what Emerging Scholar does. Thank you so much. And it is because of this support that today I am able to stand in here. 2 years ago, I spoke here. I was a young man, and I wasn't sure where I was going to go in my life, but I was still considering going back to Emerging Scholar. But I've decided, and I know that this is what I want to do. I want to go back to Emerging Scholar and continue what we do it, because the impact that we're having in the community is truly amazing. And to know that we have people like you who really support what we do, it's one of the things that really makes me excited, because I know that I'm not going to be wasting my time. I know that there will be people who have my back all the time. So thank you so much. We're going to be doing an event on the 29th of July at the Valley Brewing Company. It's going to be family friendly. So it would be lovely to have some of you come there. But other than that, thank you for supporting Emerging Scholar. This goes a long way. Thank you.
And we have a hat trick of recommendations from the World Community Service Committee coming to the A&R Committee. This came to us from University Rotary Service Foundation. It's a clean water project in Ethiopia. And again, a close relationship with Ezra Tezon that I think he was involved in a hospital that we built in Ethiopia, but he's come and spoke to this club. This clean water project is going to provide clean water for up to 3,000 people in Ethiopia. So to receive a check for $2,000 on that behalf is our own Eric Silvers. Okay, last but not least, we have a local grant request that came in from the Triumph Treatment Center. Triumph Treatment is a great organization. They're going to be expanding their PPW campus, which is pregnant and parenting women. They're going to build a new, fully licensed therapeutic child care center and playground that is accompanying that. So this therapeutic thing kind of has a theme today. They're going to increase their capacity from serving about 23 to 25 kids a day up to 43. So it's a huge deal. They came to us, this is a big project. They were looking for ways for us to help fund. And one of the options that we had as a committee was to help with the playground portion. So we picked a part of it to fund. We're going to fund this project, part of the program part of the playground called Naturescape. The good news is we're not acting as the general contractor. We're just funding it, but we will be given an opportunity for those that are willing and want to help with that expansion to help with the Triumph Treatment Center. And to receive a check for $10,000 is the Chief Strategic Officer from Triumph, our own Teresa Atkinson. Okay, that's all I've got. I would like to say thank you to my committee members for all the hard work we do grant requests. I would like to thank all of the downtown Rotarians and other Rotarians that support Yakima Rotary charities that made giving money away so easy to do. Thank you.
Thank you. It's always great to see what all our efforts go for and raising money and funds throughout the year. And I really appreciate also the patience of all the applicants as we kind of work through this past year of kind of a different schedule. So we're going to move right into our program now, just because we'd like to make sure that Mandy has an opportunity to present her entire presentation and to introduce our speaker. Some of you may know this guy. His name is Rick Pinnell.
poverty, and at 16 having her first child. Graduated yet with honors in high school. At 19, she had her second son, a teenage mom with 2 boys. The statistics were not good for her future. She was determined not to be a statistic. She was going to be a great mom and have a good career to support her children. I share this story today about our speaker today, Mandy Ketchum, because that is her story. She wants you, if you know a young mother, give her hope and support, not judgment. There are many success stories with these young mothers, and today we're going to hear from one of them. Mandy is married today and has a 9-year-old daughter. Her 2 older boys now are 23 and 26, have good jobs, and have wonderful families. Mandy has been working in the senior care industry for over 20 years, 15 of those at Highgate Senior Living as their community relations coordinator. It was soon after working at Highgate that she found out that she needed to educate herself in dementia. Dementia was still, and still is, a forbidden word and disease that nobody wanted to talk about or admit they had. It's been her goal and passion to learn as much as she can about dementia, how it affects the brain, the body, and the relationship with people. Mandy is a certified facilitator and trainer, which means virtual dementia tour. She may discuss that. The only one in the state of Washington with a dual title. She's been a PAC, a positive approach to care training, for 5 years. Mandy is also a powerful tools for caregiver teacher. This means she helps caregivers care for themselves so they can better care for their loved ones. I've known Mandy for quite a few years. We're talking about a serious subject, but she's a funny, and has a great sense of humor person. It's my pleasure to recommend and to introduce you to an expert resource in our valley on senior care, dementia, and Alzheimer's. Please welcome Mandy Ketchum.
Is that okay? All right. My husband says I don't need a mic, but I probably do here. So I am a PAC trainer, which is through TIPA Snow. That's all about approach and how do we approach someone who has any type of cognitive decline so that we don't cause a behavior or we can help decline the behavior. The virtual dementia tour, I'm the only one with a dual title as a certified trainer and facilitator. And that is just for putting you in the shoes of someone who has dementia. How does it feel? The frustration, the lack of visibility, and just not knowing what to do when a task was asked of you. I am now a MOCA certified person. I'm not sure exactly what that title, I know what the title is, but I don't know exactly what the title thinks. What it is I'm able now to give out cognition assessments. I don't diagnose, but what I do is I provide cognition assessments for anybody that feels like something is just not right. So next slide, please. All right, so our brains, that's what we all came here for, right? To figure out our brains. Do I have Alzheimer's? Do I have dementia? What's the difference? Our brains are kind of like file cabinets. So when we're born, we have that blue file cabinet. We don't, no one look back there. We don't have a lot of information in our file cabinet. It's small. We have a couple files in there, mom, dad, what they look like, what they smell like, what they feel like. As we get older, our file cabinets get bigger. We end up learning more things. We're introduced to new people, new situations, different parts of the house. Then as we get older, our file cabinets change. They get larger. We then now have to go, okay, that person, I know I recognize you, but where do I recognize you? I got to get to that file of someone who's a brunette, wears glasses. Is it church? Is it school? Is it Rotary? This is why we think we all have dementia. It's because how many of us, and I'm only in my 40s, I still go down a whole different aisle at the grocery store because I know the person but I can't admit that I don't know their name. Right? Raise your hand if that's happened to you. Exactly. So then we all are scared that we have that dementia thing that someone else had, and it was scary. That is not true, because guess what? Majority of you probably at the end of that aisle, you go back to your car, you go, oh, her name is Jane. I know her from church. Oh, I don't have dementia. That is so normal. Right, next slide. After a while, this is what we feel like our brain is, right? Do we all kind of feel this way sometimes? Yes. Next slide. All right, so normal aging. All right, so now we're sitting in a chair. Let's say we're sitting in our living room. We're watching a show, the show ends, and you go, you know what? I want to pop some popcorn. I'm kind of getting hungry. So we go to the kitchen where the popcorn machine is at, or put it in the microwave. And we go, and then all of a sudden the phone rings. And we go, okay. Well, hi, hey, how are you doing? You know, I was just watching this show. It was amazing. Have you ever seen it? Well, no. And then, so you get this conversation, maybe it lasts 5 or 10 minutes. You get off the phone and you go, huh, what was I going to the kitchen for? So then you walk in the kitchen. There you go. You walk in the kitchen, you look inside the refrigerator, nope, not in there. You look in the cupboard, you're even talking to yourself this whole entire time, right? Yes?
Yes.
And then you go, huh, you know what, it must have not been that important. Then you go sit back down in a chair, and I would say, this has a better memory than this, because as soon as I sit down, popcorn, that's what I wanted popcorn. Oh God, I have that dementia thing again. It happens in the store, it happens at home, it's following me everywhere I go. We don't, because guess what? How many things in that kitchen do you do? A lot. How many things in that kitchen does your teenager do? Not a whole lot. Right? They can go right in that kitchen, open that fridge, get out what they want, and go back to their bedroom. How are they able to do that, but I can't? I lived in this house a lot longer than they have. Because our brain has to look in the kitchen, has to look in the microwave, has to look at the stove, has to look at everything on the counter. Because our file cabinet is full of information, and we just can't remember what that information was. The thing is, normal aging, we can only hold on to 5 to 8 pieces of information at one given time. So I watched the show, and walking into the kitchen, because I want popcorn, but then I have to put it in the microwave, and I have to figure out what drawer or what cabinet that popcorn was coming out of, right? That's 4 things. The phone rings. Oh gosh, I'm getting to my point of where I can't remember maybe the next thing. The person on the phone's name is Jane. And then whatever the information she just gave me. I'm at my limit, so guess what falls off first? Popcorn. No wonder I couldn't figure out what I wanted. 5 to 8 pieces of information can we hold on at one given time. This is why we write our list when we go to the grocery store. How many times have you gone to the grocery store and you come back home and you go, the milk? I forgot the milk. The first thing is why I wrote down my list, because I needed milk, right? Have we all done that? We need a list. Right, next. Right, next. Sometimes I talk faster than my slides. So normal aging, we are slower to think. File cabinets, we have too many of them. We are slower to do. Maybe it takes a little bit longer to cook dinner. Maybe it takes us a little bit longer in our car to go places. We hesitate a little bit more. Maybe we don't want to make a bad judgment call. How many people have been scammed or have received scam calls? Right? We hesitate just a little bit more, like, is that a scam? Is it not? Is this a good idea? We're most likely look before we leave. We know that person, but we don't know their name. I heard on the Today Show, it's been many years, how we can overcome that issue. You would say, oh, well, hi. You know what? Remind me how to spell your name again. Ah. The problem is, if it's Tom, you go, yeah. Well, yeah, I know how to spell Tom, but I meant your last name. So I'll give you some tips, right? Hopefully it's not Tom Smith. Then you go, oh yeah, or you can hopefully introduce your spouse to that person. But that is absolutely normal, not knowing someone's name or how to place them. Because especially like in a large group like this, you know each other, but maybe in a grocery store, you recognize that person, just can't place them from this. We pause to find words, right? Normal. We're reminded of the past, someone with Alzheimer's dementia. They live in the past, but the past could also be yesterday. It could be this morning. It could be a week ago. We can be reminded of the past and make that connection. For me, for us, it's harder than before, but it's not difficult. It's not unbearable. We can still do it just a little bit harder. That doesn't mean touching your toes or putting on pants or socks or shoes. Prompts help. Little reminders. I have sticky notes all over my office. My office is an organized mess. Exactly. Those are actually really good for you because the less information that you have to have up here and you can actually have written down, then you can have this be more focused on things that you need to be focused on. We can learn new things. It just takes a little bit longer to learn. All right, so 5 ways we take in information. This is going to be really important because this is how we all take in information, but it's also how someone with dementia needs us to approach them, okay? So 5 ways. And I want everyone to do this, all right? So 5 ways. First is visual. Because guess what? If we hear something, what are we going to do? We're going to look. If we feel something on us, what are we going to do? We're going to look. First way is visual. Second, verbal. So we want to hear. We want to hear what's happening. Third, touch. The next 2 are not as important, but we'll click on them. Smell and taste. We are going to focus on the first 3 because these are really important because all of us, whether we have dementia or not, this is how we take in information. And that is the exact order of how we take in information. How many times has someone approached you, you didn't see them, and you didn't hear them, but they touched you? What happened? You jumped. Guess what? And sometimes I can read the room, sometimes I can't, but this is educational. So if I only touched you, what finger is that on? That's exactly how you feel. Imagine someone with dementia not knowing you're coming, not hearing that you're coming, and automatically you touch them. What's going to happen to you? They're not going to be flipping the finger off, they're going to hit you. Right? So we have to make sure that we approach everybody, dementia or not, because that's how a human being takes in information. We need to see what's coming at us. We want to hear what's coming at us before we have them touch us or be close enough to us, right? Right, next. If you're feeling like you go, I'm normal, but sometimes maybe I feel like I have some cognition decline or I don't function like I used to. Again, I'm a certified focus instructor. All right, next. All right, I need 2 people real quick. You don't raise your hand, I'll come find you. All right, 1, come on over. I need 1 more.
Don't be shy, people. Get up here.
All right, I need you not to look at the screen.
Over here.
All right, I need you to look at the screen. Not him.
Thank God.
What I want you to do is you're gonna read every single word as they are written, from left to right, top to bottom. Read them out loud.
Red, white, green, brown, green, red, brown, white, white, brown, green, red, red, white, green, brown, brown, green, white, red, white, brown, red, green, green, white, brown, red, red, brown, green, white.
All right, give him a hand. Pretty easy. All right, turn around. What you are going to do is you're going to read the exact same order, but you're going to read the color that they are written in, not the words that they're written in.
Okay.
Make sense?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Red, white, green, brown, green, red, brown, white, red, brown, green, brown, white, brown, white, green, brown, red, brown, red, green, white, green, white, brown, red, red, brown. This is hard. White, green, white, green, brown, red.
All right. Our brains are taught one way, right? School teaches us one way and to read as things are written. What we were trying to make his brain do is do something completely opposite. So right brain, left brain. These are some things that we need to continue to do if we want to have a healthy brain. So do things that are not easy. If you're a word person, do numbers. If you're numbers, do words. And things that aren't easy. So if you get frustrated with it, that's actually a good thing, right? So do things like this, and there's another one, but we won't do it. It just, no, go one more. Oh, maybe I didn't put it up there. So do things that aren't easy to help maintain brain health, okay? So not normal. So now that we know what's normal, and that happens to all of us, right? We can all make a sigh of relief.
Oh.
Thank goodness. So what's not normal? And you don't have to tell me when my time's up because I can talk forever. Right, so not normal. Can't think the same. I cannot process what I want to say, what makes sense to me. If I want to say I have to do something with that computer, but you know, I'll just take it into, the dog will have something to do with that too. Yeah. Right? I'm just not thinking the same. I cannot do like I did before. I cannot follow a recipe. If I used to be a baker, I cannot follow a recipe. I cannot sequence those tasks. I can't even get started. This is really hard for caregivers of someone who has dementia, because you'll say, well, just go to the bathroom and brush your teeth. They can't get started. How many steps does it take to brush your teeth? Someone just yell it out. 4, 5. First of all, you need to figure out where the bathroom's at, right? Second of all, you need to turn the light on. Third, where is the toothbrush if it's not on the sink? And how do I even know that's a toothbrush and not a comb? Then I need to find the toothpaste. Do I screw the lid off? Do I press the button? What end does it even go on? And then even after that, how do I even put it in my mouth? How do I even know how to initiate it or even stop? There's so many steps to get something started. We think just say, go to the bathroom here. Even if I turn the light on for you, just do it. It doesn't work that way. They cannot get things started on their own. They can't see to even move on. They get so fixated on something. So what we say is that we substitute, not subtract. So I'm not going to take away the toothbrush, but I'm going to give something different. Maybe I give a rag to wash the face as I take away the toothbrush. Because we don't subtract what we substitute. That helps them move on because they can't do it on their own. Doesn't think it out. They don't think out the process of certain things. They can't place the person at all. The really cool thing though about dementia is that they will always know the feeling of somebody. They may not know the relationship. They may not know that's my husband, but I know that we belong together. I may not know that you're my daughter, but I know that you belong to me somehow. We don't ever lose that because that's one of the first things, even in the womb, that we create is relationships. So if you have a loved one who has dementia, don't ever stop visiting because they know who you are emotionally, but just not fact-wise. Words won't come out, and even later, we may go, well, you know that in Hawaii we had that fruit and it was weird looking, like those are normal things. And later on I'll figure out what that word was, papaya or whatever it could be, but they never come back with that word. They're confused about the past versus now. So sometimes we'll call that confabulation. I have all the stories, and then I also have other things that maybe I saw on TV or someone else said, but my circle has to stop somewhere, so my story has to be completed, but it compiles of many different types of stories. So for you, it's totally different. So for them, their world is completely different. They live in a world that so many things do not make sense to them at all. Reminders don't help. You can put up little stickies up on their on the mirror in the bathroom. Go to the toilet, wash hands, use a towel. They won't have a clue. They won't even start writing down their own little list, thinking that it will remind them. You can call your mom and say, all right, Mom, I'm gonna be there on Thursday for your doctor's appointment at 2 o'clock. And she says, oh, okay, at 2 o'clock. And you go, oh, she remembered this time. All right, because she repeated it back to me. The problem is it's still here and it hasn't reached that file cabinet yet. The problem with her file cabinet, there's literally a hole in her brain because it's atrophied and it just slips right through. So then you go Thursday at 2 o'clock and you go, oh, Mom, she says, well, what are you doing here today? You go, well, I told you to write down on your calendar. Mom, you said that you were going to. Well, don't you think I would have if I had an appointment? Don't call me stupid, right? Because we thought she actually wrote it down because she told us she'd write it down. Because in that moment when I asked her to do it, she said she was. And she wasn't because also she could not think the same. She could not sequence the task. She could not be on the phone with you and do something else. You cannot hold on to new information, just like we just said. So there's many different types of dementias. There's over 100 different types of dementias. Alzheimer's is the #1 form. There's young onset and late or early onset. Young onset is someone before 65 years old. And a lot of times it's hereditary. So some other family member has had it also at a very young age. My youngest resident was 48 years old with Alzheimer's, and died at 56. And so it happens, it can happen very young. I've seen other people who have had it even younger than him, but at hiking, that has been our youngest. Then we have vascular and Lewy body. Depending on where you look, those will flip-flop 2 and 3. Thing is with Lewy body, the reason why it's coming up in numbers is we're actually diagnosing it appropriately. Before we thought maybe it was Parkinson's, or we thought maybe they were just kind of going a little crazy because they were hallucinating and seeing things. But we are finally diagnosing them. And one of the things how we can diagnose it is sometimes doctors will prescribe Alzheimer's meds. Or I have 5 minutes. I do. Yes, I got kids. Yes. So that if you give someone with Lewy body Alzheimer's medication or some antipsychotic medications, they have a complete reverse reaction. And my biggest thing, what I always tell people, when I hear people describe their loved one to me, I can almost pick up on it because they know, but they don't know. So one of our gentlemen said, well, I think I'm gonna go to exercise, but my friend does not like to exercise. So our housekeeper said, well, what friend? Well, come on over. So they went to the mirror. He said, well, that friend right there. But that's me. But my friend leaves when I leave. But that's me. So he knows, but he doesn't know. He wasn't frightened. So I always kind of key that one in for Lewy body. Vascular can be many different reasons. So strokes, hypertension, heart disease, diabetes, long time smoking. And vascular, sometimes you can make that connection. Alzheimer's, you can't. But sometimes with vascular, you can make that connection. So if I give you enough hints, I can then make that circle come together. Then there's frontal temporal lobe. Typically that happens in younger men. I just did a MOC on someone yesterday that she has all the key signs for vascular or for frontal temporal lobe dementia, and she's only in her late 50s. So it's most likely that's what she'll be diagnosed with. Next. You can just kind of go next. I'm going to show you some of the brain real quick. Next. I'd be more than happy to email us out to you guys if you guys can all have it. All right, so here, normal, early, late, and a child's brain. This is an 18-month-old child. You can see how late Alzheimer's resembles a child's brain. We don't treat people with dementia like a child, but their behaviors and how we need to approach them is childlike. Normal brain, Alzheimer's brain, same gender, same age. Next. We're gonna go over, we're gonna skip all this. So you see a brain. There we go. All right, learning and memory. See how there's that big hole? That's why I can't press on to new things. Next. All right, so go back one. All right, so here, big thing. How many times have you approached someone who has dementia and you said, hey, I'm gonna come back in about 5 minutes. And they go, huh? I'm gonna come back in about 5 minutes. And they go, huh? I'm gonna come back in 5 minutes. The problem with Alzheimer's is that they don't have a hearing problem. They have a comprehension issue. Two separate parts of the brain. So we don't need to get closer and louder. I'll say, hey, 5 minutes. I'll be back. Right? How many times have you heard a spouse from the other room or a child, and they're talking to you, and you go, I can't hear you. You can hear them because you responded, right? You just didn't comprehend what they were saying. But were we taught to say, I didn't comprehend anything you're saying? We're not taught to say that. We're taught to say, I didn't hear you. But those are two different parts of the brain. Next. I'm going to get into the fun part. One more. All right. What is preserved in dementia? Amazing. A couple things. Rhythm. Guess what? You can sing. They can sing. They may not be able to hold a conversation, but they can sing. So guess what I need to do if I want to communicate?
Sing.
Let's go to the bathroom. Walk with me. We're going to the bathroom. Right? Because they're going to understand what I want. But if I say, hey, let's go to the bathroom, huh? Right? So I'm going to sing what I want. So, but also what is preserved is rhythm and hymns, devotionals. How amazing is that? What's also preserved, unfortunately, is sexual talk and swear words. So mom may say things that you go, whoa. I did not know that she could even have that vocabulary. But guess what? She always has. She's always had a filter. And she just knew that it just wasn't right to say that. But now I don't have a filter and it's preserved. And my left side of my brain, which holds all my language, is gone. But my right side has all the rhythm and selective information, and I'm gonna say what I wanna say. That's how we can remember what's preserved. Language on the left and rhythm on the right. Right? And it's not right to swear, but it's on the right side of the brain. Right. That's how you can remember that. My time is probably up. All right. Thank you guys so much.
See, now you know why I sing all the time. Thank you very much. And in your name, as a thank you, we'll be giving a book. Actually, this is a book that Noel Moxley started the literary committee. We'll be doing each meeting. And this book will be given to as a topic on that relates to the topic. This is a book about a boy who's trying to deal with his father, who is also losing has injuries, has had brain injuries from football. So that will be given in your name. All right, thank you very much. Two quick announcements, which I forgot to mention. One is that kind of save the date, August 19th, are back to the family picnic. We'll be at Franklin Park on Thursday, August 19th. Mike Hummel and the social committee is in charge of that. He's looking for dunk tank participants. So any of you who really would enjoy that very much, Charlie, I'm sure we'll figure out a way to do that. The other announcement is really we're going to slowly phase out a hybrid. We'll still have the meetings on YouTube, but the hybrid form will be phasing out in the next few weeks. So those of you that are coming, trying to come and make your schedules work again to come to the meetings, that would be great. Next week program is one that should be really fascinating. It's Carmen Best. She is the retired Seattle police chief. And I think some of you may have heard much about what was happening in Seattle in the last year or so. And she is not retired, and she will be talking about that to us. We'll be followed by Dr. Berna Ramirez-Diaz from PNWU on Latino doctors, and Paul Shoemaker after that on activating social change agents. So with that, we are adjourned, and I get to ring this bell again.